Well, good morning, my name's John and welcome to another Island Images video. This one's filmed in glorious 360 degrees, but unlike the 360 degree photos that I put on the website, the 360 degree videoing is really only for my convenience in editing. So I'm shooting and the camera's taking the scene all around me, above and below. But when I come to editing it on the computer, I will choose what scene I want. So for this bit, you're going to see me at, we're down in Laxey at the moment, down by the promenade and the beach. Tide's about halfway out, I'd say. So we're going to go for a bit of a stroll down there and then go up into the village to find a few more places to have a look at. There have been a few storms here just recently. Some people had some amazing photographs of waves breaking right over the breakwaters down there. Absolutely massive waves. But today it's much calmer. So I'm just going to stroll down onto the beach, if I can get down there safely. Walk towards the breakwaters and then we'll head up more into the village. So I'm down at Laxey Harbour now, and as you can see, with the tide out, no water in the harbour at all. In the summer there's often quite a few sailing boats here, but during the winter time it tends to be totally empty. The harbour was originally built to export the ores from the Great Laxey mine, and I'll be going up towards the Laxey wheel later in the video. And the ores are brought down from the mine after initial processing by a tramway. It was a horse tramway, but on the way down the horses were just there for providing braking to stop the wagons getting away, and then the horses hauled the empty wagons back up the tramway to the washing floors, which is now a public park. And just over the far side you can see the Laxey River flowing down. It's kept separate from the harbour area, and then it joins it just at the end down there towards where the lighthouses are. As I said in the earlier clip on the beach, there were some photographs from 2 days ago here, and there are absolutely massive waves breaking over that outer breakwater. Absolutely incredible. There's quite a lot of water coming down the river today, so I'm hoping there'll be a few nice waterfalls further up that we're going to go and have a look at. They've done a lot of river works here. Over the past few years there was a very big flood here several years ago. Lots of properties were flooded in Lower Laxey, and the government have done a lot of work on the river since then to try and avoid it happening again in the future. Now it's quite easy to miss the Quarry Falls, and I'm sure a lot of people that aren't familiar with Laxey just walk straight past it, and you'll see why once I've crossed the road. and you need to turn down this little alleyway between these houses. There's a little symbol on the edge of one that says Laxey Heritage Trail, but that's the only indication that they're down here. There's a lot of water coming down. You can maybe see it in the distance now. I don't know what this building on the right was. It's possibly an old mill building, but it's not marked as such on the maps, so you can't really tell. Somebody will know. Now I'd planned to head on for my next waterfall, but decided to have a stop here to have a look where two rivers join, and then head on to one of the two big Laxey water wheels. The building on the right is the Laxey Woolen Mills, and I can't remember when it was established, but it's an old-fashioned business, still in business, making Manx tartans, I believe. Just over on the left we're coming to where the Glenroy River joins the Laxey River, and it's normally quite impressive. I'm going to head onwards to the smaller of the two Laxey water wheels, the Snaefell wheel. Now just along here we're coming to the old mine's washing floors, where the ore was brought down from the Great Laxey mine for some basic processing. It wasn't smelted at all here, it was just crushed, and the ore was extracted from the rock, which was then exported for further processing in the UK. The water wheel ahead is known as the Snaefell wheel, because that's where it originally was built, for the Snaefell mine up in the hills along the Laxey Glen. Now when the Snaefell mine closed down, there was no use for the wheel anymore, and it was sold onwards as so much machinery was, and it ended up in Cornwall. And after the mine that it was used for there closed down, it was just kept in storage for many years until probably around 20 years ago the Great Laxey Mines Research Group decided that maybe they could bring it back to the island and rebuild it here. And it was a huge job because only the metal parts had survived. So all the wooden parts, which is the spokes and the paddle wheels, I've probably used the wrong term there, had to be manufactured from new again. But it was installed here over a period of a couple of years, and I think at the moment there's a problem with the water supply to it. Well, it wouldn't normally be turning in the winter time anyway, but yeah, it will turn, and it's fed by I don't know if you can see there's a duct passing behind the wheel as we approach it. and the big rock flags that are underfoot here were where the ore was initially broken up into pieces. It was brought down from the mine by a little narrow gauge railway that has since been restored. You can probably see the sign for it up there above the wall there, and the train ran actually into the mine with steam locomotives, which must have been rather unpleasant for the miners, and it brought the ore down here to that higher level, and it was tipped down the chutes from that level into the floors here, where it was broken by hand and by water-powered machinery. Well, I promised some more waterfalls, and I'm heading towards my next one at the moment. Just crossing the Laxey River by the Balacrega tea rooms. There's some small waterfalls here and a water wheel, and there's his going round. But the waterfall I'm planning to visit is just up the hill a little bit further. So we've got to walk past the tea rooms and then turn right into a little car park. Just over on my left is the former mill pond from the mills that were here that stored water from the Laxey River, so they still had water flow when there wasn't too much water coming down the river. But over on my right is the Laxey Wheel, and this next waterfall is just through a little gate at the back of the car park. There's a not very encouraging sign on the gate. It says it's private, but I met the owner of the land here once, and he said no problem at all in coming through for photographs. So hoping video's okay as well. So this is a steep road that leads up to the Laxey Wheel. We're just crossing the stream that the waterfall we just visited was on. But if we go up this little lane, we should find another waterfall. This path was closed fairly recently, but I see there's been a lot of work done on fencing, so it's nice to have it open again. I was half expecting that I wasn't able to get to this waterfall. And there's a little side way off, so you can view the waterfall. So I left that waterfall now and continued up the path, and there's the famous Laxey Wheel ahead of us. And we're just approaching our final water wheel, where the stream down from Agnish, having gone past the machine house for the mine, cascades down under the viaduct that carries the T-rocker from the water wheel up to the machinery. And it operated the pumps for the mine. And just to the right of the waterfall is one of the mine entrances. And when the mine is officially open for visitors, you can actually go into the mine shaft for some distance, complete with a hard hat. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my little video this morning. It's really just shot to give me something to practice on for editing these 360-degree videos. But I thought I'd try and actually do a proper project this time, rather than just stringing together a few clips. So, waterfalls in Laxey 2026. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now. Oops, that didn't work. Hold on, we'll try that again.